Well, hey everybody, it's Bug Eater 64, and we're going to do a little test flight here. I just heard from one of my subscribers on my YouTube channel that asked me if I had done a flight yet with the Nimbus HUEY UH-1 since the latest X-Plane 1140 R1 update. Apparently, they said they were having problems getting the helicopter started, and so I'm going to start it up and see what happens, and then we're going to go from there. Also, going to take a quick look before we even get the helicopter started to look. I had another question about my control setup in the simulation, so I'm going to take a quick look at that, and we'll go from there. So let's first take a look at the aircraft. And here we are. We are at my home base of KWJF in Lancaster, California. And this is my business hangar, of course. And we can see the Nimbus HUEY sitting on my helipad. So with that, also let's go ahead and click over here and go to my joystick setup. Okay, as you can see, I have the Warthog stick and HOTAS, and I have also Thrustmaster rudder pedals. So let's go back to my throttle quadrant, and you see I've got it set up for helicopters. If you look down at the active profile here, I have different profiles for different aircraft that may have specific needs. So I got a VR pilot thing, my PMDG DC6, which unfortunately since the 1140 updates I can no longer fly because it doesn't work. So, and then I've got basically a generic helicopter setting, and then Bell 429, Bell 412, the AW139. All of those have their own setting because there's some little nuances to it and so on. Now, with the Nimbus, let's see here. My slider 1 is my throttle, which is right here. Number 2, that is my collective. And I don't have anything for number 3, which is the outside switch. Also, to have the generator, which isn't available on this one. I'm thinking the wrong helicopter now. Excusez-moi. And then for something special that is needed, one thing that we found and was that it was hard to start up the helicopter, and I'll show you why in a minute. But what I have is I have bound button number 5, which is the startup command for the Nimbus. So that's basically all there is to it. Whatever kind of HOTAS or controls you're using, you go in here and you can set it up for what is good for you. Now, to start up this, there's a button right behind here, and that's why you see this. The actual start button is on this panel here, and is normally you can't see it, and it's not modeled. So the way the developers got it set up, you're supposed to be able to press here and the engine would start. It never worked for me, so that's why I connected it to button 5 on my Warthog stick. Alright, so let's take a look at things, see if we can get this little lady started. So we go up here and look. AC phase, that's where it's supposed to be. ESS bus, okay, that's where it's supposed to be. Start generator, that is on the main generator. Okay, and then this is our battery here. So everything right now is set up, whoops, get back there, set up where it's supposed to be to here. So let's go ahead and click the battery on. We will click on our anti-collision lights. Alright, go back down here. Get rid of that master caution. Alright, now, remember slider 1 was for my throttle. Watch this right here very carefully, and you can see it, the throttle moving as I move my slider. So we've done that a couple times, just make sure it's free and clear and working. We've checked our controls. Okay, that's all looking good. Alright, so let's click on our fuel. And then our force trim and hydraulic system. So that is looking good. So at this point, we should be able to go ahead excuse me, and start the engine. If I come here and do it, nothing really happens. So go to my button 5. The lights dim as they should, and we start getting RPM come up, and I should be able to release the RPMs once we get between about 40 and 50, plus the rotors will be spinning. Let's go outside and we can take a look at that. Except it's not showing any spinning. Whoops, something's happened. Okay, fuel's on. What is going on here? Let's see if I forgot something. Generator on, everything here, everything here, everything here. That's all looking good. Oh, so maybe it's gonna make it. Let's see, fuel is on. That's all on. Okay, so it looks good. Let's take a look here. Mechanically, we're in good shape. Okay. That's good. Fuel, plenty of fuel. Alright, so why aren't you starting? Let us take this again. Interesting. I'm going to try this one more time, and we'll see what happens. It's winding up. I don't see any rotor movement. Otherwise, I should be able to see shadow. But it sounds like it's trying to start. That's very interesting. And and my sound just cut out. Okay, and the sound has come back in. Very interesting. Everything is spooling down. Alright, let's see if I can turn anything off. I can adjust that. But it doesn't appear that I can turn off the battery. So not sure. Okay. So with that, what I'm going to do is we'll go back here. I'm going to quit X-Plane and restart it. And we'll see what happens. Now, I did a quick test earlier and I was able to start up the helicopter, but did identify a bug. Once I finished tried to shut down the helicopter, wasn't able to do it. But let's see what happens if I can even get it started now. That was the very first time I had tried to start up the Nimbus in X-Plane. And so what you witnessed on the video was the second attempt. And we shall try it again and see what happens. And any of you that happen to watch this, please notify Nimbus in their forums and so on and let them know. Even on their Facebook page. And I'll try to, if I can remember it, try to post that location in the remarks section of the video. I'm going to be very disappointed if I can't fly this bird. Because she is a joy to fly. Alright, we're almost there. Alright, so we are back. So let's get inside and see if we can get this old lady started. Okay, first things first. This is all set up. Battery on. Anti-collision. Fuel on. Fuel cracked. Alright. Force trim. Hydraulic system. IFF. Alright, with that, let's see if we can get it started. Here we go. Hold on to your butts. Okay, turbine's winding up. I am not seeing any rotor turn, and I should be able to pick that up. And at this point, we're about 45. There's 50. She is not staying started. My goodness, I have no idea what's going on. That is sad. Okay, let's see here. I am actually going to move my location. Down here. This is KWJF. This is a real world airport that we made some adjustments to. There's my GTN 750. It kept the setting, so we're now parked in front of the restaurant, and we tried to make this as real world looking as we could to the actual Fox Field. General William Fox. And there's my hangar for Air America Duet and Soulless Wings, the virtual airline owned by my friend Dion Soul. And I subcontract flight, do missions for Soulless Wings with my charter service. So with that, let's see, we got everything turned on. Okay, so she's ready to go. Okay, it looks like they're actually starting this time. Huh, I don't know why I didn't like the other location. We have a good engine start. Ain't that something? Okay, and with that we can that down there. Okay, let's bring our RPMs up. No warnings on the annunciator panel. See about taking off.
FSE flight not started.
No kidding, it's because it's not an FSE. So it's interesting that I had to actually change the location. Ooh. So looks like we got a few boys lined up. Yeah, playing around. We are getting silly. Okay. Yep. That wasn't pretty by any means whatsoever by Craigie, but what the heck. We got the thing started and we were able to fly it. But apparently my curves are all discombobulated that I had set up for my controls. because it was much too erratic on the rudders. Alright, so we let the and it appears I can't. Alright, let's see. I can do that, but I can't. Any of the switches that I switched on, well, okay, I could put that one on. Alright, let's see if I can, okay. Can I switch this one back to generator? Starter generator. Boy, it sure doesn't seem like it. Can't turn the battery off. See if I can even turn the lights off. Okay. Got that. See if I can turn the fuel off. Got it down to idle, but it's not gonna let me. So I can turn force trim off, I can turn hydraulic systems off. Let's see. Interesting. Okay. Let's see if once the engine shuts down. Okay, I'm learning this helicopter all over just like everybody else. But even so, it won't let me turn off switches I already turned on in some cases. So that is going to be a real issue. Okay, so yeah, won't let me make those changes. Won't let me turn off the fuel. Well, that's just wrong. Just wrong. And what else is wrong? The way I flew it. That's the worst flight I've had in forever in a helicopter. That's horrible. you have it. It wasn't pretty. As a matter of fact, it was the ugliest I've seen in a very long time without actually destroying the aircraft. Yeah. But we were able to get the helicopter flying. There are some bugs that weren't there before. So hopefully we'll notify Nimbus about the issues. About we can turn switches on, can't turn them off. And that's interesting. Still can't, for me anyway, I'm unable to start the helicopter by the recommended way of Nimbus, to where I actually have to have a key binding to my control stick, which I don't mind, but the way they say to start it up doesn't work. And I'm not the only one that's run into that, and I'm sure Nimbus will work on it as they make changes, as we hear aircraft in the background flying around. But yeah, so there you have it. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got a chuckle out of it as much as I did. I've got to work on my control surf, especially my rudder settings. I've got to build in a curve, because they, as you can see, way too sensitive. Yeah, so it made the helicopter very hard to control. But we went around the airport, and so from KWJF and Bug Eater 64, we'll see y'all next time. Hope this was helpful to you, and hope you enjoyed the laughter. Anyway, until next time, as always, not proved by this video, safe flying.